from the book On the Way to Krishna. And so let's get started. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pisthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschata Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare ओम ज्ञानतिमिरन्दस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः प्रभुपाद की जय. So we are reading from the third chapter of the book. So let me share my screen. Just a minute. So is the screen visible? Okay. Just a minute. Yes, so I will read. I will start reading. So we were here, the process of Shravanam and Kirtanam. This process of Shravanam, Kirtanam, hearing and chanting was approved by Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. When Lord Chaitanya was speaking with Ramanand Rai, a friend of the Lord's and a great devotee, the Lord questioned him about the methods of spiritual realization. Ramanand recommended Varnashram Dharma, Sannyas, the renunciation of work, and so many other methods, but Lord Chaitanya said, no, all of these are not so good. Each time Ramananda Rai suggested something, Lord Chaitanya rejected it, requesting a better method for spiritual development. Finally, Ramananda Rai quoted a Vedic aphorism which recommended that one give up all unnecessary endeavors in mental speculation for understanding God, because by speculation it is not possible to arrive at the ultimate truth. Scientists, for instance, may speculate about distant stars and planets, but they can never come to any conclusion without experience. One may go on speculating throughout his life and never reach any conclusions. It is especially useless to speculate about God. Therefore, Srimad Bhagavatam recommends that all sorts of speculation should be given up. It is recommended instead that one becomes submissive, realizing that not only is he an insignificant creature, but that this earth is only one small point in the great universe. New York City may seem very large, but when one realizes that Earth is such a small spot, and that on the Earth, the United States is just another small spot, and that in the United States, New York City is but a small spot, and that in the New York City, in New York, the individual is only one out of millions, then one can understand that he is not so very important after all. Realizing our insignificance in the face of the universe and God, we should not be artificially puffed up, but should be submissive. We should be very careful not to fall prey to the frog philosophy. Once there was a frog in a well, and upon being informed of the existence of the Atlantic Ocean by a friend, he asked the friend, "Oh, what is this Atlantic Ocean?" "It is a very vast body of water," his friend replied. "How vast? Is it double the size of this well?" "Oh no, much, much larger," his friend replied. "How much larger? 10 times the size?" In this way, the frog went on calculating. But what is the possibility of his ever understanding the depths and far reaches of the great ocean? Our faculties, experience, and power of speculations are always limited. We can only give rise to such frog philosophy. Therefore, Srimad Bhagavatam recommends that we give up the method of speculation as a waste of time in trying to understand the Supreme. After giving up speculation, what should we do? The Bhagavatam recommends that we become submissive and hear the message of God submissively. This message may be found in the Bhagavad-Gita and other Vedic literatures, in the Bible or Quran, in any bona fide scripture, or it may be heard from a realized soul. The main point is that one should not speculate, but should he simply hear about God. Hmm. What will be the result of such hearing? Regardless of what one is, whether he be a poor or rich man, an American, European, or Indian, a Brahman, Shudra, or whatever, if one but hears the transcendental word of God, the Lord, who can never be conquered by any power or force, will be conquered by love. Mhm. Arjun was a friend of Krishna's, but Krishna, although the supreme Godhead, became Arjun's chariot driver, a menial servant. Arjun loved Krishna, and Krishna reciprocated his love in this way. Similarly, when Krishna was a child, he playfully took the shoes of his father, Nand Maharaj, and put them on his head. People may try very hard to become one with God, but actually we can surpass that. We can become Father of God. Of course, God is the Father of all creatures, and He has no father Himself, but He accepts His devotee, His lover, as a father. Krishna agrees to be conquered by his devotee out of love. All one has to do is hear the message of the Lord very carefully. In the seventh chapter of the Bhagavad-Gita, Sri Krishna gives additional ways in which he can be perceived in every step of life. Punyo gandha prithivim cha tejaschashmi vibhavasu jivanam sarvabhuteshu tapaschashmi tapasvisu. I am the original fragrance of the earth, and I am the heat in the fire. I am life of all that lives, and I am the penances of all ascetics. The words Punyo Gandha refers to fragrances. Only Krishna can create flavors and fragrances. We may synthetically create some scents or fragrances, but these are not as good as the original that occur in nature. When we smell a good natural fragrance, we can think, oh, here is God, here is Krishna. Or when we see some natural beauty, we can think, oh, here is Krishna. Or when we see something uncommon, powerful, or wonderful, we can think, here is Krishna. Or when we see any form of life, whether it be in a tree, in a plant, or an animal, or human being, we should understand that this life is part and parcel of Krishna. For as soon as the spiritual spark, which is part and parcel of Krishna, is taken away from the body disintegrates. बीजं मां सर्वभूतानां विधि पार्थ सनातनं बुद्धिर्बुद्धिमतामस्मि तेजस्तेजस्विनामहम्. O son of Pritha, know that I am the original seed of all existences, the intelligence of the intelligent, and the power and the prowess of all powerful men. Bhagavad Gita 7.10. Here again it is explicitly stated that Krishna is the life of all that lives. Thus, at every step we can see God. People may ask, can you show me God? Yes, of course. God can be seen in so many ways. But if one closes his eyes and says, I shall not see God, then how can he be shown? In the above verse, the word bijam means seed, and the seed is proclaimed to be eternal, Sanatanam. One may see a huge tree, but what is the origin of this tree? It is the seed, and that seed is eternal. The seed of existence is within every living entity. The body itself may go through so many changes. It may develop within the mother's womb, come out as a small baby, and grow through childhood and adulthood. But the seed of that existence that is within is permanent. Therefore, it is Sanatanam. Imperceivably, we are changing our bodies at every moment, at every second. But the bijam, the seed, the spiritual spark does not change. Krishna proclaims himself to be this eternal seed within all existences. He is also the intelligence of an intelligent person. Without being favored by Krishna, one cannot become extraordinary intelligent. Everyone is trying to be more intelligent than others, but without the favor of Krishna, that is not possible. Therefore, whenever we encounter someone with extraordinary intelligence, we should think, That intelligence is Krishna. Similarly, the influence of one who is very influential is also Krishna. Balam balvatam chaham kamaraga vivarjitam dharma viruddha bhuteshu kamo asmi bharatar sabha. I am the strength of the strong, devoid of passion and desire. I am sex life which is not contrary to religious principles. O Lord of the Bharatas, Arjun. Bhagavad-Gita 7.11. The elephant and the gorilla are very strong animals, and we should understand that they get their strength from Krishna. The human being cannot acquire such strength by his own endeavor. But if Krishna so favors, a man can get strength to exceed the elephant thousands of times. The great warrior Bhim, who fought in the battle of Kurukshetra, was said to have strength of 10,000 times that of an elephant. Similarly, desire or lust, calm, that is not against religious principles, should also be seen as Krishna. What is this lust? Lust generally means sex life, but here calm refers to sex life which is not against religious principles, that is to say, sex for begetting of good children. If one can beget good Krishna conscious children, he can have sex thousands of times. But if he can only beget children who are raised in the consciousness of cats and dogs, his sex life is to be considered irreligious. In religious and civilized societies, marriage is intended as an indication that a couple is to engage in sex for begetting good children. Therefore, married sex life is considered religious and unmarried sex life is considered irreligious. Actually, there is no difference between the sannyasi and the householder, provided that the householder's sexual activities are based on religious principles. यचैव सात्विका भावा राजसस्तमसश्च ये मत एवेति तन्विद्धि नत्वा अहं तेषु ते मयि. Krishna, sorry, know that all states of being, be they of goodness, passion, or ignorance, are manifested by my energy. I am in one sense everything, but I am independent. I am not under the modes of material nature, for they, on the contrary, are within me. One may question Krishna in this way. You say you are sound water, illumination, fragrance, the seed of all, the strength and calm desire. Does that mean that you exist simply in mode of goodness? In the material world, there are the modes of goodness, passion, and ignorance. Thus far, Krishna has described himself as that which is good, for instance, sex and marriage according to religious principles. But what about the other modes? Does Krishna does not exist in them? In answers, Krishna replies that whatever is seen in the material world is due to an interaction of the three modes of material nature. Whatever can be observed is a combination of goodness, passion, and ignorance, and in all cases, these three states are produced by me. Because they are produced by me, their position is in Him, but He is not in them. For Krishna Himself is transcendental to the three modes. Thus, in another sense, bad and evil things which are produced out of ignorance are also Krishna when they are applied by Krishna. How is this? For example, an electrical engineer is producing electrical energy. In our homes, we are experiencing this electrical energy as coldness in the refrigerator or heat in the electric stove, but at the power plant, electrical energy is neither cold nor hot. The manifestations of this energy may be different for the living entity, but for Krishna they are not different. Therefore, Krishna sometimes acts on what appears to be the principles of passions or ignorance. But for Krishna, there is nothing but Krishna. Just as for the electrical engineer, electrical energy is simply electricity and nothing else. He makes no distinction that this is cold electricity or that is hot electricity. Everything is being generated by Krishna. Indeed, the Vedanta Sutra confirms Athato Brahma Jigyasa Janmadi Asya Yataha. Everything is flowing from the Supreme Absolute Truth. What the living entity is considered to be bad or good on is only for the living entity, for he is conditioned. Dvandva, it is called Dvandva. But because Krishna is not conditioned, for him there is no question of bad or good. Because we are conditioned, we are suffering from dualities. But for him, everything is perfect. Hare Krishna. So, um, can anybody else read? They are requested to raise their hands. Yes, Shashi Mataji. Chapter number 4.
Hare Krishna. The roads of the foolish and the wise. Krishna is thus explaining himself as he is, yet we are not attracted to him. Why is this? The reason is given by Krishna himself. The divine energy of mind, consisting of the three modes of material nature, is difficult to overcome, but those who have surrendered unto me can easily cross beyond it. Gita 7.14. The material world is pervaded by the three qualities of material nature. All living entities are influenced by these qualities. If they are primarily influenced by the mode of goodness, they are called Brahmanas. And if they are influenced by the mode of passion, they are called Kshatriyas. If they are influenced by the mode of passion and ignorance, they are Vaishyas. And if they have influenced by ignorance, they are Shudras. This is not an artificial imposition due to birth or social status, but is according to guna, or the mode of nature under which one is operating. According to the three modes of material nature and the work associated with them, the four divisions of human society were created by me. And although I am the creator of the system, you should know that I am yet the non doer, being unchangeable. Gita 4.13. It is not that this system refers to the perverted caste system in India. Sri Krishna specifically states Guna Karma Vaibhagyas. Vaibhagyas. Men are
Vibhagas.
classified. Men are classified according to the gunas or mode under which they are operating, and this applies to men all over the universe. When Krishna speaks, we must understand that whatever he says is not limited but is universally true. He claims to be the father of all living entities, even the animals, aquatics, trees, plants, worms, birds, and bees are all claimed to be his sons. Sri Krishna asserts that the entire universe is illusioned by the interaction of the three qualities of material nature, and we are under the spell of that illusion. Therefore, we cannot understand what God is. What is the nature of this illusion and how can it be overcome? This is also explained in Bhagavad Gita. This divine energy of mind, consisting of the three modes of material nature, is difficult to overcome, but those who have surrendered to me can easily cross beyond it. Gita 7.14. No one can get rid of the entanglement of the three qualities of material nature by mental speculation. The three gunas are very strong and hard to overcome. Can't we feel how we are in grip of material nature? The word guna hmm, mode also means rope. When someone is bound by three strong ropes, he is certainly very tightly secured. Our hands and legs are all bound by the strong ropes of goodness, passion, and ignorance. Are we therefore to abandon hope? No, for here Sri Krishna promises that whoever surrenders unto him is at once free. When one becomes Krishna conscious, whether in this way or that way, he becomes free. We are all related to Krishna, for we are all his sons. A son may have a disagreement with his father, but it is not possible for him to break that relation. In the course of his life, he will be asked who he is, and he will have to reply, I am the son of so and so. That relation cannot be broken. We are all sons of God, and that relationship with Him is eternal. But we have simply forgotten. Krishna is all powerful, all famous, all wealthy, all beautiful, all knowledgeable, and He is full of renunciation as well. Although we are friends of such a great personality, we have forgotten it. If a rich man's son forgets his father, leaves home and becomes mad. He may lie on the street to go to sleep, or he may beg money for food. But all of this is due to his forgetfulness. If someone, however, gives him information that he is simply suffering because he has left his father's home, and that his father, a very wealthy man and owner of a vast property, is anxious to leave him return, the person is a great benefactor. In this material world, we are always suffering under the threefold miseries, the miseries arising from the body and mind, from other living entities, and from natural catastrophes. Many being covered by illusion by the modes of material nature, we do not take account of these miseries. However, we should always know that in the material world we are undergoing so much suffering. One who has sufficiently developed consciousness, who is intelligent, inquires why he is suffering. I do not want miseries. Why am I suffering? When this question arises, there is a chance to become Krishna conscious. As soon as we surrender ourselves to Krishna, he welcomes us very cordially. It is just like a lost child who returns to his father and says, "My dear father, due to some misunderstanding, I left your protection, but I have suffered. Now I return to you." The father embraces his son and says, "My dear boy, come on. I was so anxious for you all the day you were gone, and now I am so happy you have come back." The Father is so kind. We are in the same position. We have to surrender to Krishna, and it is not very difficult. When the Son surrenders to the Father, it is a very difficult job. It is very natural, and the Father is always waiting to receive the Son. There is no question of insult if we bow down before our Supreme Father and touch His feet. There is no harm for us, nor is it difficult. Indeed, it is glorious for us. Why should we not? By surrendering to Krishna, we become immediately under his protection and are relieved of all miseries. This is validated by all scriptures. At the end of the Bhagavad-Gita, Sri Krishna says, okay, "Abandon all varieties of religion and just surrender unto me. I shall deliver you from all sinful reactions. Do not fear." Gita 18.66. When we throw ourselves at the feet of God, we come under His protection, and from that time on, there is no fear for us. When children are under the protection of their parents, they are fearless because they know their parents will not let them to be harmed. Mameva e prapadyante. Krishna promises that those who surrender to him have no cause for fear. If surrender unto Krishna is such an easy thing, then why don't people do it? Instead, there are many who are challenging the very existence of God, claiming that nature and science are everything and the God is nothing. So called advancement of civilization in knowledge means that the populace is becoming more mad. Instead of being cured, the disease is being increased. People don't care for God, but they care for nature. And it is nature's business to give kick in the form of the threefold miseries. She is always administrating these kicks 24 hours a day. However, we have become so accustomed to being kicked that we think it is all right and consider it to be the ordinary cause of things. We have become very proud of our education, but we tell material nature, "Thank you very much for kicking me. Now please continue." Thus, deluded, we think we have even conquered material nature. But how is this so? Nature is still inflicting on us the miseries of birth, old age, disease, and death. Has anyone solved these problems? Then what advancement have we really made in knowledge and civilization? We are under the stringent rule of material nature, but still we are thinking we have conquered. This is called Maya. There may be some difficulty in surrounding to the Father, surrendering to the father of this body, for he has limited knowledge and power. But Krishna is not like an ordinary father. Krishna is unlimited and has full knowledge, full power, full wealth, full beauty, full fame, and full renunciation. Shouldn't we consider ourselves lucky to go to such a father and enjoy his property? Yet, no one seems to care about this, and now everyone is making propaganda that there is no God. Why do people not seek him out? The answer is given in chapter 7, verse 15 of the Bhagavad-Gita. Those miscreants who are grossly foolish, who are lowest among mankind, whose knowledge is stolen by illusion, and who partake of the atheistic nature of demons, do not surrender unto me. In
Yes.
this way,
Go ahead, Mataji.
okay. In this way, the fools are categorized. A Duskriti is always acting against the scriptural injunctions. The business of current civilization is to break scriptural rules. That's all. By definition, a pious man is one who doesn't. There must be some standard to distinguish between Duskriti, an evildoer, and Sukriti, a virtuous man. Every civilized country have some scripture. It may be Christian, Hindu, Muslim, or Buddhist. That doesn't matter. The point is that the book of authority, the scripture, is there. One who does not follow its injunctions is considered an outlaw. Another category mentioned in this verse is mudha, fool. Number one, the Naradama is one who is low in the human scale, and Maya Yapta.
The first one is Dushkritina. Second is Moodha. Mood जिसको हम बोलते हैं ना, जैसे mood like
अच्छा हाँ मूड या
mood. The third is Naradhama, and fourth is Maya ya Pahrita Jnana.
Maya Parasita Jnana
Yes.
refers to one whose knowledge is carried away by Maya or illusion. Asuram Bhavam Asirta refers to those who are out and out aesthetic. Although,
Asuram, Asuram Bhavam Ashrita. Like Asuram matlab those who are demoniac. Asur
hmm,
जिसको बोलते हैं ना असुर, like
uh-huh,
Asuram Bhavam Ashrita. Ashrita means taking shelter of those.
dependent, okay, shelter, refers to those who are out and out as atheists. Although there are no disadvantage to surrendering to the Father, people who are thus characterized never do it. As a result, they are constantly punished by the agents of the Father. They have to be slapped, canned, and kicked severely, and they have to suffer. Just as Father has to chastise his unruly boy, so material nature has to employ certain punishments. At the same time, nature is nourishing us by supplying food and other necessities. Both processes are going on because we are sons of the wealthiest father of all, and Krishna is kind even though we do not surrender to him. Yet, despite being furnished so well by the father, the Duskriti था ना प्रभु Duskritina.
Yes, Mataji,
Okay,
Dushkriti.
Duskrit. Still performs unsanctioned sanctioned action. One is foolish if he persists in being punished, and one is low on the human scale if he does not use this human form of life to understand Krishna. If a man does not use his life to reawaken the relationship he has with his real father, he is to be considered fallen in the human scale. Animals simply eat, sleep, defend themselves, have sexual intercourse, and die. They do not avail themselves of higher consciousness because that is not possible in the lower forms of life. If a human being follows the activities of the animal and does not avail himself of his ability to elevate his consciousness, he falls down the human scale and prepares for an animal body in his next life. By the grace of Krishna, we are given a highly developed body and intelligence. But if we do not utilize them, why should He give them to us again? We must understand that this human body has developed after millions and millions of years of evolution, and that in itself it is a chance to get out of the cycle of birth and death in which over 8 million species of life evolve. This chance is given by the grace of Krishna, and if we do not take it, are we not the lowest among men? One may be a degree holder, MA, PhD, etc., from some university, but the illusionary energy takes away this mundane knowledge. He who is really intelligent will apply his intelligence to understand who he is, who God is, what material nature is, why he is suffering in material nature, and what is the remedy of this suffering. We may apply our intelligence to manufacture an automobile, radio, or television for sense gratification, but we have to understand that this is not knowledge. Rather, this is plundered intelligence. Intelligence was given to man to understand the problems of life, but it is being misused. People are thinking they have acquired knowledge because they know how to manufacture and drive cars. But before the car was here, people were still going from one place to another. It is just that the facility has been increased, but along with this facility have come additional problems: air pollution and overcrowded highways. This is Maya. We are creating facilities, but these facilities in their turn are creating so many problems. Instead of wasting our energy to supply ourselves with so many facilities and modern amenities, we should apply intelligence to understand who and what we are. We do not like to suffer, but we should understand why suffering is being forced on us. By so called knowledge, we have simply succeeded in manufacturing the atomic bomb. Thus, the killing process has been accelerated. We are so proud to think that this is advancement of knowledge. But if we can manufacture something that can stop death, we have really advanced in knowledge. Death is already there in material nature, but we are so eager to promote it by killing everyone at one drop. This is called
Maya ya pahrita.
Maya Aparhita Gyan, a knowledge carried away by illusion.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Mataji, I think we will have to rest our class here because we are also running out of time.
Okay,
And
Prabhuji.
so the meeting would automatically be over in 5 minutes. So I just wanted to give next 4 or 5 minutes for any questions if there are any. So thank you
Uh,
so much for reading. So are there any questions?
yes, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Then
Yes,
प्रणाम.
Mataji. Hare Krishna.
प्रभुजी एक वहां पे था ना कि गुडनेस एंड पैशन मोड वाला था, जिसमें एक एग्जाम्पल था इलेक्ट्रिसिटी वाला.
Yes.
तो उसमें जैसे वो एग्जाम्पल था कि एक जगह कूलिंग जा रही है, मतलब सेम एनर्जी यूज हो रही है, और एक हीट के लिए यूज हो रही है वो सेम एनर्जी. बट
Yes.
वो कृष्णा के लिए बोला था कि मतलब वो उसमें जो इलेक्ट्रिक हाउस है उसमें ना तो कोल्ड होती है ना हीट होती है.
Yes.
Okay, okay. Now, fine, fine. Okay, I got my answer. Yes.
Okay. Because for Krishna, like everything is on the platform of absolute. So Krishna is absolute, and everything in relation to Krishna is also absolute in nature. There is no duality for Krishna. So duality only comes in this material nature when there are modes and also. So this द्वंद्व जो इसको हम बोलते हैं, जो जो duality है, like अगर कुछ ठंडा है तो कुछ गर्म होगा, कुछ अच्छा है तो कुछ बुरा होगा, दिन है तो रात है. So like that. So good hai to bad hai. So but for Krishna everything is absolute. So whatever is there in for Krishna is totally, so like not in the in duality and neither in the modes of nature. So Krishna says that in 7.12 कि in 1.3 that although like जो वो example देते हैं, like किसी का ऐसा मानना हो सकता है कि सारे example भगवान ने दिए वो सारे अच्छे वाले दिए है ना, तो बुरों में क्या वो नहीं है क्या. So he says that everything, like all these modes are created by me, but I am not controlled by them. So similarly, like in electricity is created in the electric powerhouse, but you cannot say that electricity is overpowering the electric powerhouse. And for the electrical engineer, the and electricity is electricity. It depends on the appliance की क्या वो AC है तो वो ठंडी हवा देगा, अगर heater है तो वो गर्म हवा देगा. So like that. But it is the same electricity which is going. So that was the example which was taken.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, मेरा एक और क्वेश्चन था.
Okay, we might run out of time in 2 minutes, so you have asked 2 minutes.
No problem, Prabhuji. I'll ask later.
नहीं, you can ask for 2 minutes. You have 2.5 minutes. माधव जी, जो time आपका समय शुरू होता है अब.
Okay. तो प्रभु जी 7.15 में जो वो 4 प्रकार के लोग बताए थे जो सरेंडर नहीं करते हैं भगवान पे, तो एक बारी थोड़ा थोड़ा उनके बारे में एक्सप्लेन कर देंगे क्योंकि वो एक से लग रहे थे मेरे को.
सबसे पहला है माता जी दुष्कृतिना. दुष्कृतिना means those who are don't believe in the scriptures. And next is namam dushkritino mudha. Mudha means those who are grossly foolish in nature. Foolish means like those who are foolish in one sense that अब उनको क्या समझाया जाए, because they are foolish in nature. And third is naradharma. Naradharma means like those who are demoniac in nature. And demonic in nature means that they do all kind of sinful activities and all things. And the fourth one is maya paharita jnana, those whose intelligence has been lost. And those who are atheist in जिसको हम directly atheist बोल सकते हैं. So those who refute the scriptures, they may be taking off another scriptures as well, like dushkritina. But atheist and dushkritina, there is a little bit difference. तो आप समझ रहे हैं ना उस तरीके से कैसे difference है. So these are the 4 kinds of people who don't don't surrender to the Lord. Yes.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Yes, Hare Krishna. Time पे पूरा हो गया. Thank you so much.
ठीक है. Hare Krishna. So Hare Krishna everyone. So thank you so much for attending today's session. So we hope to see you on Sunday on our Bhakti Vriksha. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Vancha Kalpatarubhyasta Kripa Sindhu Bheva Chapatidhanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namo Shri Prabhupada Ki Jai. Hare Krishna. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Mataji,
Thank you so much
for joining. Hare Krishna.